Joining us today is Kaileigh Brandt of Fox Sports and ESPN. Kaileigh, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Justin?
I'm doing very well. People are going to be jealous of your weather again. Looks like you're enjoying the weather once more.
Yeah, I think so. Not for long.
Oh yes, so there will be an announcement coming soon from Kaileigh. All right, Kaileigh, let's jump right into it. Steph's the MVP, unanimous MVP, big news. Everybody's talking. Steph gonna Steph, right?
Right? Oh my God. This guy is so crazy. I mean, it's so funny too on Twitter, and I'm sure you probably get this a lot. People arguing for anyone other than Steph just to say something like a hot take, or
Yeah.
even arguing LeBron. I mean, it's crazy that anyone would put anyone before Steph, especially after the season that
Mm-hmm.
he's had. And last night, coming back from injury, sitting for what, 2 weeks, and doing what he did last night, breaking another record as if we thought that was even possible. There's just no other option.
Well, absolutely insane. We were watching the game. He starts off, I think, 0 for 9 from three, but you're not turning the channel, and you're
No,
you're locked in. And then what was it? 27 points combined in the fourth and overtime.
so crazy. Insane. But I mean, it's not surprising. you know,
It shouldn't be, at
I
least at
mean,
this
it
point.
took him. No, no, it's not. It's funny. When I was doing a Sports Nation, I think when we did this episode, it was like a month or so ago, and it was when Steph had 50. I think it was against the Wizards, and Marcellus was like, yawn. like I just expect him to drop like 150 every game, so it's like 50 whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, speaking of last night, everybody's talking about Steph, but what we want to talk about is the play that led to overtime, the play that allowed them to Steph gonna Steph in overtime. The ATO coming out, I think, at the 50-second mark. Tell us a little bit about what you saw.
Right. So just to break down the play first, you got Iggy zipper cutting to get the pass at the top from Clay to initiate the play. And then Steph comes off this staggered flare to receive the pass from Iggy. And then he drives to the baseline. And at the same time, Harrison Barnes is setting a back screen hammer screen for Clay.
Mm-hmm.
But what's important to note is the timing, because hammer action actually in this scenario became a decoy as Harrison pops the open wing and Steph makes the right read. So because on the strong side in this scenario, you've got your usual attention to Curry coming off the stagger, and you obviously know teams are going to go crazy trying to get after him. And how the hammer set usually works is dependent on, one, having that good timing that I mentioned in setting your screens, because these have to be simultaneous. And two, you have teams that tend to overhelp on the strong side, so your weak side is left open. But in this case, it's important to note the wrinkle in this play that Kerr had, because Portland actually did a nice job of reading the play as a hammer action. It's funny because people on Twitter were like, oh, they totally fell asleep on Harrison. And I'm like, no, they read the play completely correctly. So they brought the help to Clay coming off the back screen from Barnes to try and stop him from getting that corner three. But having your screener be a shooter like Harrison allowed for that wrinkle where Kerr had him pop to the arc after setting the screen. So there's that overcompensation in the corner from the hammer read on Clay, and Steph was able to use his court vision and hit Harrison on that slip.
And that's something I don't think a lot of people noticed, was that pass was ridiculous as well.
Right?
It was an insane pass. And the gravity of Clay that you mentioned, Clay going to the corner is going to draw some attention. That's just the makeup of the team, and part of the reason that the Warriors are going to be so hard to deal with, whoever they run into.
Right. Totally agree.
Awesome. Well, Kaileigh, we have a new feature, and you get to be our first right here. We have the 4-point play. This is the 4 questions we're sending out to our contributors and all of our coaches, and we got 4 questions for you. You ready?
I'm so ready.
All right. Number 1, your favorite social media follow.
Okay,
Other
favorite
than
social.
FastModel.
Other than, oh, I know, I was like, Justin. My favorite social media follow. I can't tell you the favorite social media follow because it's a stealth account from a scout that's really great. But my favorite follow as far as I guess, okay, basketball content, I think Zach Lowe is a great follow. But as far as laughing about basketball content, network, I think it's N3TWERK. He's hilarious, like scream crying at everything that he tweets.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We'll link that up as well.
And Amin Al Hassan too.
Amin's great.
Al Hassan. He's good. He's not as much X's and O's as he is really great at personnel. Everything that he says about personnel is dead on.
Amin's also a big fan of Fast Draw, so props to Amin there. All right, number 2, your favorite basketball memory.
Favorite basketball memory? I don't know. Your sound broke up there. I don't know if mine did, just FYI.
We're good.
Okay. My favorite basketball memory has to be I worked a lot of jobs in high school. Actually, my first was Taco Bell. Woohoo. Yeah, I was really amazing at that. And after a while, I saved up enough money to go to my first Celtics game. And I caught Paul Pierce's sweaty headband. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm Jesus, I think. And it's funny because like years later, now in LA, he's in LA with the Clippers, and I saw him at the Shea Cotton movie premiere, Man-Child. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I was like just staring at him on the panel, like it's so bizarre that where we are now from where that moment was, and how I view you now and how I viewed you then. So crazy.
That is. Number 3. Favorite book, or just the last book you read.
Okay, last book I read is called The Problem with String Theory. It's a book about physics, about how universities are too dependent on proving string theory to be correct and not testing out other viable options because too much money has been invested in solving string theory. I don't know if you
the sunk costs of string theory sounds like a page turner.
It's, oh my God, so riveting.
All right, and our last question. What coach did you or have you learned the most from?
I would say personally, I've learned a lot more from scouts in my my direction. But if I had to pick a coach whose playbook I love to sift through, it's actually Alvin Gentry's playbook. And I know that that's kind of weird. People love to say like, oh, Doc for ATOs, or, you know, Popovich. I mean, obviously Popovich, everyone's influenced by Popovich's playbook. Popovich's playbook is the league's playbook now. So that, but Gentry has some great ones from Phoenix.
And we have a ton of Alvin Gentry sets in our library, so don't hesitate to check those out. Kaileigh, it's been a pleasure once again. Remind everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at Kaileigh Brandt on Twitter and Instagram. Just
awesome.
My name.
Awesome. Kaileigh, is a pleasure.
Oh, you too.